The American robin is a songbird in the thrush, or turdidae, family. This species is easily identifiable by their red-orange chest and brown plumage. Robins live throughout the vast majority of North America and parts of Central America. There are 7 different subspecies across their range. Description of the American robin. Robins have brown plumage on their heads, backs, and wings. The shade of brown varies from individual to individual, with some a dark brown shade and others a dusty brown. Their chest and much of their underbelly is reddish-orange. They have stout, robust bodies with noticeably rounded bellies. Most American robins measure about 10 inches long and weigh around 3 ounces. Interesting facts about the American robin. This species is common and easy for most people to identify. Learn what makes American robins unique and interesting below. First point. The early bird gets the worm. This particular robin species is essentially the source of the saying the early bird gets the worm. These birds spend their mornings yanking earthworms out of the ground while they are close to the surface. You often see them trotting about the lawns of urban neighborhoods bright and early. Second point. Pesticide problem. Sadly, because they like to forage on the ground, especially on cultivated lawns, these birds frequently suffer pesticide poisoning. Sometimes pesticides also impact the earthworms and other sources of food for these birds as well. Third point. Another's lunch. Though American robins are the bane of the earthworm, they are far from the top of the food web. Many other species of animals feed on robins, including feral cats, hawks, owls, falcons, snakes, and more. Sadly, an adult robin only has a 50% chance of survival in a given year. Habitat of the American robin. These are versatile birds, and they live in a variety of different habitat types. They live in woodlands, tundras, a variety of forest types, scrublands, and more. These birds are quite urban and live in a variety of man-made habitats including farms, pastures, orchards, parks, gardens, and suburbs. Their favorite place to forage is open areas like meadows, pastures, fields, and lawns. Though they eat in open areas, they nest in dense vegetation. Distribution of the American robin. This species has an incredibly wide distribution across North America and into Central America. These birds even live throughout much of Canada and Alaska, save for the extreme northern regions. During the spring, they breed throughout virtually all of Canada, and then migrate to the southern United States and Mexico for the winter. Throughout the United States and parts of Mexico, this species stays year-round. Diet of the American robin. These birds are omnivores, which means they eat both plants and animals. The carnivorous side of their diet consists mainly of invertebrates, though they do hunt small animals on occasion. Some of the different prey that they catch include earthworms, grasshoppers, snails, flies, crickets, and more. They forage for seeds, nuts, berries, and fruits throughout their range. When foraging in the early mornings they hunt for worms and other invertebrates, and later in the day they eat berries and other fruits. American robin and human interaction. Humans and robins normally coexist relatively peacefully. Like most animals, man-made objects like power lines and cars sometimes injure robins. This species is especially susceptible to pollution, particularly pesticides, because they forage for food in lawns and gardens. However, their populations are quite high and continue increasing. The IUCN lists the American robin as least concern. Does the American robin make a good pet? No, American robins do not make good pets. They are relatively large birds, and thus, need lots of space to exercise and forage for food. In most places, it is also illegal to own a robin as a pet. American robin care. In zoos, American robins require similar care to that of other songbirds. Because they are relatively large, their enclosures or aviaries must be spacious. In aviaries, these birds often live with several other species of birds, especially if the aviaries are large. Most robins in zoos live there because they became injured and could no longer survive in the wild. Zookeepers feed a variety of seeds, berries, nuts, fruits, crickets, mealworms, and pelleted insectivore and frugivore feed. Behavior of the American robin. For an arboreal bird, American robins spend lots of their time on the ground. They are diurnal and forage primarily during the day. Most of their foraging occurs on lawns or in meadows or pastures. Outside of the breeding season, robins are quite social and congregate in flocks. Flocks of robins roost together at night and forage together during the day. As the breeding season arrives, the robins pair off and establish nesting territories. Reproduction of the American robin. These birds build their nests in trees, large shrubs, and even on buildings. The female lays between 3 and 5 eggs per clutch. She takes all incubation duties, and the eggs hatch after about 2 weeks. Even though the chicks are completely helpless when they hatch, it takes just 2 weeks for them to begin learning to fly. It takes another 2 weeks for the chicks to master flight and gain independence from their parents. Beliefs, superstitions, and phobias about the American robin. This species is present in a number of different art pieces and cultures. One Native American tale tells of a robin fanning a campfire to save the life of a boy, while another tells that the raven created the robin to sing to the people. Across the world, people consider robins a symbol of the oncoming spring season. Other notable mentions: Rockin' Robin by Roger Thomas, and Batman's sidekick Robin. American robin interesting facts. First one. What type of animal is an American robin? American robins are a species of robins that are widely found in North America. Second one. What class of animal does an American robin belong to? The American robin belongs to the class Aves, and to the family Turdidae. It is classified as a thrush, so you may find it familiar to varied thrushes. Third one. How many American robins are there in the world? American robins have a short lifespan, and whole populations of this bird are changed every 2 to 3 years. We aren't able to put an exact number to the size of this species. However, some sources state the number to be around 370 million individuals. Next one. Where does an American robin live? The American robin is endemic to the Nearctic region, and it is extensively found all over North America. In the winter months, these birds may migrate to Guatemala. Next one. What is an American robin's habitat? American robins are common in open areas like woodlands, gardens, orchards, lawns, as well as in fields, where they can find a plentiful diet. These North American birds are also found in urban and suburban areas. Next one. Who does the American robin live with? As these are social birds, you can often catch them in flocks. Moreover, during the winter period, you can see large flocks of robins getting ready to migrate to warmer places. At night, flocks of this bird can usually be found in secluded swamps or marshes, where the populations perch on trees. Next one. How long does an American robin live? Usually in the wild, American robins live for 2 years. Some lucky birds have managed to live to 14 years. Next one. How do they reproduce? After the winter is over, most robins return to their native place for breeding. During this breeding season, the birds form pairs to take care of the eggs and chicks. Robin parents are known for being quite territorial about their nests. Usually, the breeding season is between April and July, and these birds breed all over North America. Most robins lay 3 to 5 eggs, but some females can even have multiple clutches in a single breeding season. Females are the ones involved in nest building for eggs, and these nests are usually on the ground or on trees. It takes 14 days for the blue eggs to hatch into young birds. Next one. What is their conservation status? In the International Union for Conservation of Nature Red List, the American robin is currently classified under the status of least concern. So, today we are talking about full details about robin birds. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos.